Hey everybody, my name is Aprille Cook and I'm a forester with the Westervelt Company, and today we're going to do activity 13, We Need Trees. Now this is one of my favorite activities to do with the kids. It always surprises them how many different products we get from trees, and they really understand by the end of this how important trees are and how we depend on them for everyday things. And so this is one they really enjoy. The objectives of our activity are to get the kids to examine the different products, figure out what kind of tree it came from, what part of the tree it came from, and it also gives us an opportunity to talk about sustainability or conservations of different trees. The activity focuses on three different groups. The first one is the wood group, which of course is very obvious to the kids. They all know that we get lumber from it. We get furniture, baseball bats, all kinds of different products. So this one's really easy for the kids to understand. The next group, of course, is paper, very important group. And again, another obvious one. A lot of kids know that we get paper from trees, but they may not necessarily understand the process of how paper is made. So if you have time the same day that you do this activity, try and do activity 51 on making your own paper. This really gets them to understand the paper making process and how important that is as well. The last group is the food group. Of course, this is where we get our fruits and nuts and chocolate. Very important group. And so again, that one's really easy to discuss with them as well. Now, if you have time in your activity, turn to the second page of the activity, and you'll see a list that says, would you believe it comes from trees? Now, this gives you several more groups that the kids may not really think about much, and it really brings a different element to your activity. The first group is the bark group. This is where we get, mulch from, where we get dyes from, where we get different medicines from. We get aspirin from the bark of a willow tree. Back in the old days, settlers and Indians used to chew on the bark of willow trees when they had fevers or body aches and use it as medicine. So a lot of kids don't know this, and that's a really neat story to tell them and really opens up their eyes to the different products. The next group is the sap group. This is where we get things like turpentine, rubber. We get different kinds of syrup from it. We get different kinds of flavorings that we use in cooking. We even get crayons from this group. And then lastly, the last group is the cellulose group. Now, all of y'all know that cellulose comes from the cell walls of the plant cell, and this is what gives wood its strength. So when we're able to extract that cellulose out, we can make all kinds of different products from cellophane, plastic wrap, things like that. We can also extract it and make different kinds of fibers for carpeting. We can make different types of materials such as rayon. We can even use it as a thickening agent for different things like your shampoos and stuff. So again, if you're able to bring this group in, it really just opens up everything to the kids and really makes them understand how important trees are. They can go all around their house and find these different products and talk to their parents about it, and even bring it home and make a game for their for their parents as well. Now, there's all different ways you can do this activity. You can have pictures. You can cut out pictures from magazines and whatnot and have them identify what product group it came from and maybe go into detail about the different processes of making paper or extracting cellulose. You can have them go around your classroom and look for different types of products that way. If you want, make a little data sheet where they can identify the group and what part of the tree it comes from, and maybe even describe how it's made. Get them on the internet, look these different processes up, and let them really learn it that way on their own. If you want to break them up into teams that way, or different little groups. What I like to do is I like to have a table with as many products as I can find on it. I usually split them up into teams. have them come up and identify what is not a wood product. Now I make sure I have 2 or 3 metal things on there, like nails or battery or a wrench. And of course, those are picked really quickly. But once those are gone and they start looking around at, shampoo bottles and aspirin, and then you're able to describe or go into detail about that process and how that's a wood product, it amazes them, surprises them, and they really get into it. So once that activity's done, review all this with them. Talk about why we depend on trees and why they're so important to us, and talk about the importance of sustainability and how making sure that we have trees and forests for the future so that we can have all these everyday products is so important. Again, they love this activity. They have a lot of fun with it. I've always had fun with it, and I hope you do too. Thanks.